With its delightful production of Love at the River's Edge, Shakespeare Festival St. Louis introduced a new wrinkle into Shakespeare in the Streets. Previous editions of this community outreach focused on a single neighborhood or the metropolitan area as a whole. The festival sent in a creative team to work with the residents in developing and performing an original script about the community within the framework of a play by Shakespeare. This year, the festival reached out to two communities, the Normandy School District in North St. Louis County and Calhoun County in Illinois. The resulting play, Love at the River's Edge, did not just integrate stories and actors from both communities. The performances took place in both communities, too. At the end of Act 1 in Pagedale, the audience took buses to St. Charles County's Golden Eagle Ferry, which carried the group to the Illinois side of the river for Act 2. This was not merely Shakespeare in the streets, it was Shakespeare on the road. The Shakespearean model for Love at the River's Edge was As You Like It. A major theme of the play is the contrast between the courtly environment where the play begins and the Forest of Arden where the play ends. Playwright Maria Richardson shrewdly adapted As You Like It to fit the contemporary bi-state area. The change in power at the start of the play was not a younger brother deposing an older sibling as Duke, but one partner in a major brewery forcing out a sibling in a boardroom coup. Eric Dean White was deliciously nefarious as the conniving Whitman, while Mama Lisa was a pillar of decency as the ousted Duchess, who chose Calhoun County as the place of exile for herself and her supporters. The contest in which young Orlando stood out in the city was not a wrestling match, but a basketball game. Richardson's Rosalind and Cece were cheerleaders, a well-chosen equivalent for the aristocratic social position held by Shakespeare's Rosalind and Celia. The young lovers exhibited decidedly contemporary personalities and attitudes in the performances by Lindsay Waters as Rosalind, Jason J. Little as Orlando, Margaret Michaud as Cece, and Daniel Clear as Oliver, whose interest in Cece is sensibly introduced earlier than in Shakespeare. Richardson de-emphasized the central romance of As You Like It, in which Rosalind teaches Orlando how to woo. That decision was smart because Orlando and Rosalind are both from Normandy. Instead, the focus was on a romance that crossed the city-country divide. Chris Ware was a splendid comedian as Jackson, the refugee from the city who combined elements from Shakespeare's Jakes and Touchstone. Audrey J. Black was a charmer as Audrey, who worked in the country store. Ralph Jack Moses worked there too as the cashier. Victor Mendez as Cecil and Ellie Nolte as Phoebe were another romantic couple. Richardson made Adam the presenter of the action as well as a participant. Anita Jackson's Adam was the enthralling narrator and singer in Just Beyond the River with Jackson's own lyrics and a haunting adaptation of Shakespeare's speech, All the World's a Stage. Saria Conaway and Colin McLaughlin were the excellent composers and musical directors. Director Catherine Bentley and choreographer Mama Lisa admirably marshaled the forces from a wide variety of backgrounds. The ultimate bridging of the urban-rural divide occurred when everyone at the river's edge worked together to prevent rising waters from flooding the countryside. It was an example of cooperation that should inspire us all.
Indeed, a very clever rewriting, updating, and all that Maria had done on this script. And the Shakespeare Festival really lucked out with the weather. It was a lovely, clear night, and crossing the river under a full moon was just a little extra cherry on the top of the whole thing. And though the bus rides were long to get to the ferry, they provided entertainment on the buses, too.
They did, and we should compliment the festival for the extraordinary logistics to bring this evening off.
True.